not be able to go down to 175. My main goal is to be one of the best reigning champions at light heavyweight in history. So the only reason I took this fight because it was an opportunity I couldn't pass up. You know what I mean? But my main focus is 175. So if that fight does happen, it's at 175.
So is Bivol the number one fight you would want at 175?
Yeah, Bivol, Benavidez. And in a dream scenario, if we do 3 fights, it'd be Bivol. After this fight, it'd be Bivol, Benavidez, and Canelo. That would be nice.
Do you see yourself stopping Ramirez?
If I follow the game plan, I put together a good game plan, I could stop him. I know for a fact I could stop him, but we have to put together the good game plan. You know, we have to make sure this camp is outstanding. Everything is good. You know, we've gotten out to a pretty good start. So now I'm gonna just keep finishing it. But I've heard him in sparring before. He knows that. I know that he knows that I know that.
David,
You know?
Boxing politics is the main topic right now. Do you feel like boxing politics keeps the big fights from happening? A recent interview that Mauricio did said that you assumed that you were not ever going to get Canelo, and that's why it never happened. What are your thoughts on that, and what do you think is really going on in boxing, and why these fights are not really happening?
I feel like now we've kind of closed that gap, that now these big fights are happening. But there's always going to be boxing politics, you know what I mean? Whether they assume I was going to do something or whether or not, it doesn't matter. You know, I'm still pushing to make the biggest fights happen. We've had more success. You know what I mean? I've gone over there to Riyadh, fought in ring season. So I don't see why we can't make these big fights happen. You know, there's a problem in the past, but, you know, we got to move. The patience is key here.
In your opinion, what is wrong with boxing, if anything?
Nothing is wrong with boxing, in my opinion.
David, the belts, how important has been for you, those major belts in your career?
So I'm gonna be very clear on this. Everybody's asking me. I've had a couple people ask about me. For me, the sanctioning bodies, WBC, WBA, IBF, WBO, they're tied to boxing because that's our Super Bowl. That's our NBA championship. I'm very proud to be their champion. How I feel about another boxing organization coming and make their own belts, they're giving other boxers opportunity. I have no problem with that. You know what I mean? If I'm staying here, this is my lane. I'm not saying I'm gonna go fight with Zuf or none of that. I respect them a lot. They're giving other boxers opportunities that they don't have here. So I have no problem with that.
What do you think of PBC keeping this show independent on their own, not making it a ring card with Turkey, like tonight's fight when Golden Boy had the bigger star and they decided to go ahead and make it a ring show? What do you think of PBC with the A side and you just keeping this PBC Golden Boy?
I mean, I don't know, man. To be honest with you, I'm just happy to be a part of this event. I don't really want to get into politics and nothing like that. You know, I feel like, you know, we're in a good position. I'm happy that we're able to make this fight in Las Vegas.
Hey David, with the narrative that you're fighting for the belt, I think a lot of people understand why you're in. But some people feel like the Arthur Benavidez fight was probably the fight that the fight fans probably wanted. You know, so for those people who probably felt you should have fought Arthur as opposed to Zurdo, is there just a reason? Was it just this was the more?
So what were those people saying when Arthur was supposed to fight Bivol and I didn't fight Bivol? You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff. People are gonna say a lot of things, but I'm trying to make that fight happen. I'm not running from any of these fights. If anything, if he would have an opportunity to go up and fight for the Cruiserweight Championship and fighting me for no belt, I think he would go with that. So I'm just trying to, like I said, I'm just trying to make my own lane, achieve my own greatness, and tell Benavidez to be patient because we're coming for him soon.
People used to laugh, at the idea because of the